Hello, tea family, and welcome to our tea time chat today. We've got exciting things, so we're going to get started right away. Now, first, I always say, please enter into the chat or in the comments, depending on how you're seeing this, what you're drinking today, what you're enjoying for teas, different things like that. Now, I'm going to get started, and I'm going to be making some Maiden's Blush today. And there we go, Maiden's Blush. Now this is rooibos and rose petal blend, and this comes with a very special story. Maiden's Blush was named by the people who attend a farmer's market that we do when it first came out. It was one of those, I don't know why we do that. I'm talking to my handy dandy helper over there. Whenever we think we have a limited edition tea, it ends up being super popular, and then we get requests for it year round, and then we end up needing to go ahead and make it a full-time tea. This is what happens with Maiden's Blush. So we created the blend. We were really, really excited about it. It tasted delicious hot. It tasted delicious cold. But what we did is we went ahead and came up with a couple of names, and then had other people write in names and had them vote for an entire Thursday evening, at this farmer's market to determine what the name was. And guess what? Maiden's Blush, because originally rose petals, and it was supposed to be for the month of June, you know, bridal month. So people went with Maiden's Blush. And it was funny because as people would write in what their option was, people saw it and it caught on. And that is how this tea got its name. So one of the wonderful things about this tea is, first of all, I'm going to boil my water today because it's a rooibos blend. I can go ahead and do the 212 degrees, treat it just like a black tea, even though it technically is an herbal. It is caffeine free, which always is a big deal for so many people. But one of the special things about this is we do it as a sample. In fact, we got it as a sample, or we got it, had it this week at 2 of our local markets as our free taster. And it's always so popular. So, but what happens is people literally ask us, does it have honey in it? And we're like, no. All our teas are completely unsweetened. We don't add sugar or anything like that to it because we want them to taste the tea. And so I literally will always say, nope, there's no sweetness. It almost tastes, the rose petals rooibos combination almost gives you a hint of honey. In fact, this is one of our favorite teas for drinking cold. I actually took this from our handy dandy assistant today. This is the leftover rooibos and rose petal tea that we call Maiden's Blush. And that is because he was drinking it. He loves it as a cold sipping tea.
I was wondering where it went. I was looking for it.
He was wondering where it went. Sorry. I stole it from him this week, ladies and gentlemen. I stole it from him.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's one of the great things about this Maiden's Blush. So here's what it looks like. The color is just phenomenal. You have the red rooibos, but the rose petals add that like purpley burgundy color. And here we go. Now this is one of the few teas that I say if you have a tea ball, it's okay to use because the rooibos does not fluff up like the tea leaves do, so therefore it is not a problem. And this is, there we go. I could not thread that correctly today. All right, so boiling, and then we will set this for 3 minutes for the first brew. This can be brewed 3 times. There we are.
Diane's encouraging you.
All right. Yep, I gotta have to steal his stuff every once in a while. He's always stealing it from me. Anyway, is that not just gorgeous color? I love the color. And then you might not have been able to tell with the actual glass that he took back, but it gives like the black tea color, but with like a little redness to it.
I want that back.
I know you want that back. Okay, now I got to set my, but it's really great. The earthy notes of the rooibos match with the floral notes. It is not a super flowery tea. A lot of people are concerned that, oh, I don't like flowery teas. The rose petals do not add floral to it as much as they add a sweetness to it. They balance out that earthiness of the rooibos, and we this is one that we like to sit on the porch or in the summer, ice it down, and just drink. Doesn't need sugar, doesn't need anything. Just go. just brew it up. We typically will brew this one, and then we will go ahead and let it cool, and then we let it go in the fridge. So if we wanted to make it, although it's good hot, I mean, you could definitely do it hot as well. But this is a really nice iced tea, caffeine free. So it is great for those people who have issues drinking caffeine right before bed and you want to have a wonderful cup of tea. This would be the tea that I would recommend. So, all right. Anybody else? I see that Diane is drinking a pure leaf raspberry tea. I'm thinking that if Stephanie's with us, my guess is it's going to be an onyx chai. That's her go-to. So I don't know. Although she loves Emerald Garden. It might be an Emerald Garden. We'll have to see when she puts it on there. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about some onyx chai. See, I called it. I called it. It was onyx chai. Okay, Stephanie, is it a latte? That's the question. And Diane, is your pure leaf raspberry tea? I was gonna say it's iced. Okay, that's like, is it hot or cold? So, yeah, it's funny. You can kind of start to tell. Like, most people know my favorite is the Serene Sunrays, although I do like it. I see it's a latte. I had a feeling, but I was like, she might be just drinking it hot. All right. This is almost done. My phone is about to go off, so I'm going to delete it before it starts. And here we go. All right. The only thing I should have brought was some cold water to cool it off a little bit. That's the hard part. I usually like to let my tea sit for a second. But yes, there's one right there.
Bottle from the store. I'm divorced from my sister.
It is not a bottle from the store.
No, my sister.
Bottled from the store. There we go. We use bottled water every once in a while, but not for that. Do we not have a stirring stick?
It's there.
Oh, I don't see it.
I brought it through.
Well,
What'd you do?
I mean, it'll be okay. All right, today we are going to do something a little different.
Yeah,
okay.
There you go.
I have my chopstick, aka my stirring stick. All right, we're going to do something a little bit different. Talk about a topic that a lot of people talk about when we talk tea. And I started reading up on different tea facts and different things like that, and read an article recently about how wonderful tea can be for athletes and those that like to work out. Now, if you're talking running for working out, I am not your person. I am not a runner. I've tried many times. I used to run all the time in high school when I was on the soccer team. No, I am not a runner. I love to walk. I enjoy hiking. Running is not my thing. I am convinced that runner's high is a big fat lie. My husband tells me that's not true because he's experienced it when he runs. I have never in my life experienced it. So, in the comments or chat, go ahead. I'm going to ask you, whether you're with us live or not, put in the comments or chat what your favorite workout is. Like, what's your favorite type? It could be Pilates, it could be strength training, it could be cardio, it could be walking, running. I was actually talking to a friend of mine yesterday. She loves to run, and we had the whole running, but she can't. She's like, walking, it just takes so long. And I'm like, but running, like, no. But it's kind of funny. Everybody enjoys different things. Some people like swimming. Some people like Uh, weight training.
Crab walking.
I don't think crab walking is a type of exercise, but thanks for sharing. So, all right,
Diane says,
so
what about reading? And Rob was stealing sips of her Stephanie's latte during church.
the hubby was stealing sips of your latte during church. You must really love him to let that happen. Wow, wow. I hope he realizes how much you love him. Diane, reading does not count unless you're at least on a treadmill or walking or exercising. I'm sorry.
Or it's a big book where you have to carry it.
I wish it did. I would be all set. I love to read. Stephanie is weight training and yoga. I could not do yoga if my life depended on it. I have a lot of friends who do, but that is not me. For me personally, I like walking, and then I actually would prefer the total gym kind of a workout, or kind of, I don't know, what would you call it? Intermittent weight training kind of stuff. Really, I'm just a walker. I like to walk. That's my favorite exercise. So, what I wanted to talk about is exercising and the benefits of tea for exercising. And it's really, really funny because there are tons of them as I started to find out. That's what the article was about. So, if you're an athlete, this matters. If you're not an athlete, you're just a regular person and you're doing your workout, this will still be helpful to you. So a lot of times people do pre-workouts, hydration during the workout, and recovery post-workout to let their body rest. So one of the best teas to enjoy pre-workout, before you start your workout, is actually an oolong tea. Now remember, that is kind of halfway between a green tea and a black tea. And the reason for that is the energy that comes, the caffeine energy that comes from an oolong tea typically will last longer and diminish more gradually than traditional black teas or green teas. It also has L-theanine. Now, I will tell you, I looked up how to say that several different places. I have 3 different possible ways of pronouncing that word. So L-theanine is what I had come up the most favorited. L-theanine is the second one, most popular, and then T9 was the third. So it's L, like the letter L, dash Theanine. And what it is a very helpful and useful amino acid that humans do not produce, but is good for you and very helpful for you. And that is one of the reasons, because it is in this oolong tea, or in oolong teas, it is considered a great pre-workout tea. Now, during the workout, especially if you're doing heavy cardio like a friend of mine does, oh my goodness, that's so good. With her running, yeah. One of my daughters would run. No, I don't understand how she does it either. You're really gonna want to look at hydration. Do we have a question?
I have a question.
Okay.
Now, if you're not going to go full workout, instead of having oolong tea, do you drink short tea?
The dad jokes. Did you all hear that? He asked me, if you're only going to do a short workout, should you drink oolong tea or short tea? And this is why he's the handy dandy assistant. If we were playing the adventure game, I'd be going silence mortal right now. Anyway, dad jokes, they never, ever, ever end, even when you're an empty nester. Just saying. All right. So for hydration, obviously water is going to be your best option. The one problem with water is so many people don't enjoy the taste of pure water. They add stuff to it. They add flavorings to it. They'll add cucumbers or strawberries, or they'll add pre-packaged, whether they're sugar-free or sugar-full or keto or paleo or so many things, or high sugar, high caffeine. A lot of people just don't like the taste of water. So this is where, for hydration, you can actually use white or a green tea. White and green teas are packed with antioxidants. They do, according to the Mayo Clinic, count as water. It does count. So any tea that you drink that doesn't have the sugar or anything like that added. Now, once you add sugar to it in some manner, it's not going to be as hydrating. But if you drink just some straight green tea or iced or hot, it counts towards your water consumption for the day. Now, a lot of people get concerned because they're like, well, I don't want to drink it because tea is a diuretic. Well, the problem with that is I looked on WebMD and I checked out on the Mayo Clinic as well. And you would have to have anywhere from 11 to 18 cups, as in 8-ounce cups of tea a day, to really hit the negative diuretic impact of that. So it is still good for hydration. Third, I wanted to talk about that recovery period, that post workout. Your muscles feel worked out. There might be, they're not going to be sore because the lactic acid wouldn't have built up. It's built up, but you don't really notice it as much. There are 2 options for this one that we recommend. Number 1, a chamomile tea, like our evening mint. So chamomile itself has anti-inflammatory properties, which is really good at that point. Also, it promotes soothing and sore muscle relaxation and relaxation in general. It's caffeine free, so that's always a good thing. And then peppermint is just really good and healthy for your system. Now, the other option happens to be what we're enjoying today. So good. I don't know why I waited so long to make this one. Maiden's Blush. Again, rooibos is packed with antioxidants. It is completely caffeine free. Rooibos also has the minerals magnesium and calcium, which are amazing for muscle recovery and bone health in general. The rose petals also add more antioxidants, adds vitamins A, C, and E, and it's also really good at relaxing muscle tension. So if you've worked out a little bit too hard and you got a really tense muscle or something like that, rose petals in the tea can be very beneficial per WebMD. Just thought you might say. You want to hear that one? These are where my sources are. This is where I'm finding my information. I read the article and then I always research and verify everything before, and I want to find reputable sources, not just I am someone you've never heard of's blog. I want to go to some reputable medical sources when I talk about stuff like that. So, and we're just talking about ingredients and things that are in the teas. So.
Old wives' tales.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Old wives' tales don't cut it here. Diane looks like she laughed at your dad joke, whereas Stephanie was like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe it."
I won't divorce her then.
I'm with Stephanie. Oh my goodness. So, did that strike you as interesting about the working out and the different teas to help you along in the processes? I thought it was like really, really interesting as I dug in. Now, here's another question for you. Go ahead, put it in there. When is your favorite time to work out? So the handy dandy assistant and I, we don't really get to work out together because I am super early morning. I like to get my workout in super early in the morning, even if I'm doing my double workout day or a single workout day. I love to do it before I go to work, before I get ready for work. That way I'm done. I don't have to be, if I've had a really long day, I don't have to worry about getting home and going, oh, I still have to work out. When really all I want to do is sit on the couch for a minute. Or I've got someplace else to go and something else to do or a training to teach. He is more of a mid-morning or later afternoon kind of person at this point in his life. I think that comes from Uncle Sam making him get up well before the crack of dawn to go in for PT in the morning. And so now he's like, I don't have to be out. Lisa can get up that hour, which helps because then he doesn't hog the equipment when I use it. But so Stephanie, now do you and your beloved work out at the same time together or separately but at the same time? Interesting. We tried that a couple of times. It worked for a little while, and then he doesn't like to get up early in the morning. So I did have a... So Diane's like, when I can, I like walking also. See, yeah, I just think walking is relaxing. You can go for a long distance. One of our favorite things to do when we go on vacation is to go on hikes. I know one time we went to Dallas and
Katy Trail.
we did the Katy Trail, yeah, and it's only supposed to be so many miles long, and we ended up coming in at the wrong place, went one end, turned around, went, come back, and so we ended up doing the equivalent of it twice. I had like 14 miles walked by the time I got back to the hotel room one time. Separate parts of the gym, but at the same time. Yeah, I understand that. I do understand that. That's cool. So that's the fun thing is
When we were in Garden of the Gods, we did hike too.
when we went to for our 21st wedding anniversary, we went to Garden of the Gods in Colorado Springs, and we did a whole hike through there first thing in the morning. That's always good, especially in the summer. That's my other thing. In the summer, it's cooler in the morning, and I don't want to already be over too hot and then work out. So yes, but I haven't tried drinking tea with my workouts, but now I'm gonna have to make some Emerald Garden tea, have some oolong in the morning, and then do some Emerald Garden tea for my hydration, and then we come back and have some nice Maiden's Blush. That sounds like a good plan. We should try that. But awesome. All right. I wanted to talk about that. Does anybody have any questions? I always want to remember, don't hesitate to ask the questions. Love answering them. Okay, so next week we are going to do something completely different for Tea Time Chat. Are you ready? We are actually going to make up some tea. Now, I'm not going to be giving you my recipes, I'm sorry, but we're going to make up some tea. So if you have a choice on what tea you want us to literally blend in front of your eyes to see how we do it.
Or ingredients.
Well, we list all of our ingredients on the packages, but if you want to have a choice in what we do, feel free, but we will literally be measuring it out, and we're going to make it first, and then we're going to brew it. I thought it would be fun. I'm glad you think it's fun, Stephanie. It was one of those things I was like, what should we do next week? Let's do something a little different. I talk a lot about tea and tea-related stuff, but let's make some tea. I've actually written a class, a tea blending class that like I'm thinking about putting out there for people that are somewhat local to me. Although I guess we could do it online as well, but I think it would be really fun in person, and then maybe an online component. And go into like a local shop that sells tea and coffee and things like that, and go in there and then give you all some. Anybody who would come would get different teas. Like they would get a couple of different teas and a couple of different things to mix in, and then we could kind of go over what some of the basics are, like how you pick your base, different properties, like how you want to make sure your balances are this way or that way. But everybody could create their own unique blend, which I thought would be super fun to do. So I wrote it out, but haven't gotten further than that. Life's been a little crazy here. So any questions while we're going? All right, well, then I will say thanks for joining me. Next week, 6 o'clock, live on Facebook, we will definitely
Flight of tea.
a flight of tea. You know, there is a certain way. If you are going to try a bunch of different teas, there is a specific order you should do them. That is something I would love. I love flights of things when you get to try just a little bit. That would be another thing that we could potentially do live or in person. Live in person or online even, because if we sent everything out in advance, you could make the teas and we could do a flight of teas together. That's a great idea. I'll have to look at that for maybe next month, depending on what happens in the schedules. That's a great idea. Thanks for that. Okay, I'm going to let everybody get back to their Sunday. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Keep in mind that Memorial Day, we do always want to honor those who gave up their lives for our freedom here in the U.S. and honor that. So I know we will always remember them, and they are dear to our hearts. So enjoy the rest of your long weekend, and we will see you all later.